Hello there. Welcome to Just the Discs. We talk about Blu-rays here, and today I'm going to talk about some partner label stuff. This weekend is the Vinegar Syndrome Flash pre-order for Black Friday. They've got some cool stuff happening. Roadhouse in 4K for the first time, which is pretty awesome. Homegrown Horrors Volume 2. Exciting stuff to definitely check out. So if you're at the website and you're curious about some partner label titles, I've got a bunch here that I am trying to get through and I haven't been able to just yet, but I want to kind of like at least make you aware of some of these. You know, if you're not religiously going to the site and checking on all the partner label titles, because it's a lot to keep track of, I am just going to go through some groups of them here. And I will start with Canadian International Pictures and their release of The Kid Brother. And this is... I like Canadian International Pictures a lot. I've talked about them before. They're doing really great work. And this one is a pretty cool movie. It is about the kid you see in this picture. His name is Kenny, and he has no legs. I at first thought this was a documentary, but it is a narrative feature, and it is sort of the story of he and his family and how they go through their sort of day-to-day and how he deals with getting around, how he deals with his family in general, and they have a documentary crew come to talk to them, to talk to his parents, to talk to him and his siblings, and it's sort of showing how they're all going through that. And we see some just general drama between the family members, and it's a very sweet movie. It's, you know, it's a moving film for sure, and I was really taken with it. It is from 1987, and it is definitely memorable, definitely a Discovery type film. It is a big favorite of programmer, film historian Kayla Janice, and she is on the commentary track for this disc. This is scanned in 4K from the original 35mm camera negative, and it is, let's see here, restored by Elephant Memoire du Cinéma Québécois, with sound transferred and restored from the original 35 magnetic film 4-track final mix. It has the audio commentary with Kayla Janice and writer film critic Ralph Elwani. There's a featurette called In Kenny's Company that's brand new. It's 33 minutes, and it's an interview with writer-director Claude Gagnon, who did the film. Yuri and Claude and Kenny. Another new featurette, 11 minutes, an interview with Gagnon's longtime producing partner, Yuri Yoshimura Gagnon. And Kenny's World, another 9-minute featurette, memories from the film's international festival tour, as well as some trailers and stuff like that. But very memorable film. Very cool stuff from Canadian International Pictures to start things off. And I've got a few of their discs here. I also have Forbidden Love, The Unashamed Stories of Lesbian Lives. You can see the slip case here. And does this have... Yeah, this has reversible artwork. Now this one is from 1992, and it is set in the 1950s. It says a wave of lesbian pulp literature emerged at that time, exploring a then taboo subject in vivid, sensational detail. While these writers often took a critical moralistic view of gay life, they provided a jumping-off point for women still discovering their suppressed sexual desires. But with society unwilling to grant them a place in public life, they channeled their passion for these novels into a vibrant underground culture full of distinctive codes, roles, and rituals, mirroring the shadowy traditions of noir fiction. They also faced violent opposition from police and other protectors of the status quo, resulting in dangerous but ultimately liberating path to sexual awakening. It says mixing lively testimonials from unforgettable women at the forefront of mid-century lesbian bar culture with scripted segments that take the Hollywood melodrama in provocative and sexually explicit new directions. Forbidden Love, The Unashamed Stories of Lesbian Lives is an eye-opening cultural history and one of the most memorable Canadian films in the 90s. With a soundtrack of late 50s and early 60s hits by the Fleetwoods, Connie Francis, Jimmy Rogers, and the Shirelles, this is a stirring, funny, and ultimately moving portrait of rebellion flourishing in the face of repression. Sounds fascinating. Just the idea of testimonials, documentary-style stuff with that kind of a soundtrack is like right up my alley. So very much wanted to check this out. Scanned and restored in 2K from 16mm interpositive audio commentary featuring directors Lynn Fernie and Erilyn Weissman, moderated by Professor Gene Bruce. Another commentary with 6 members of the crew. The Anne Bannon Chronicles, a brand new 18-minute interview with the queen of lesbian pulp, Anne Bannon. Cinema Politica Q&A with the cast and crew from 2015, about 23 minutes, an EPK interview with the directors from 1992 afterward, and a booklet featuring reflections from subject Amanda White, along with essays by Gene Bruce, Matthew Hayes, B. Ruby Rich, and Rebecca Sullivan. So you got a nice booklet there and a nice slipcase. But I'm looking forward to checking that one out as well. And lastly, from Canadian International Pictures, we have Nobody Waved Goodbye, which is their latest release. And this one, I got a chance to start to look at the other day, and I was very much intrigued by it. It is from 1964. Black and white film, and it's about teenager Peter Mark, played by Peter Kastner. It says he has it all: supporting parents, a loving girlfriend, a comfortable middle-class existence, but on the brink of finishing high school, he feels emboldened by his impending freedom and decides to pursue a rebellious new path. After his parents make their disapproval known, Peter decides to move out on his own, confident he'll conquer the working world with his insight and sophistication. When the reality turns out to be far less glamorous, he settles for a shady new job that continues his criminal evolution. Often ranked among the most important Canadian films of all time, Nobody Waved Goodbye is the feature directorial debut of Don Owen, who directed The Ernie Game, which was the first release from Canadian International Pictures, who tapped into his documentary roots to deliver a gritty, low-budget answer to Rebel Without a Cause. In addition to 3 of Owen's early shorts, this disc includes Christopher's Movie Matinee, an inventive documentary that shows where Toronto teen rebellion landed just a few years later, and Lonely Boy, the landmark Paul Anka short that preceded theatrical screenings of Nobody Waved Goodbye. I love it when they do that, so you can approximate the release of the film with shorts that aired before it or showed before it. New booklet interview with Don Owen biographer Steve Gravestock. I was definitely digging this. This had a cool start. This character played by Peter Kastner has definitely got this. The whole film has this sort of this improvisational energy, this raw energy to it that I was really liking, and it just feels not quite new wave, but like almost in some respect. I can't explain it, but this guy's just sort of a know-it-all type, and he's got it all figured out, that kind of story. And I was both annoyed and totally compelled by his performance, or not the performance, the character. So I'm really curious to check this one out fully and check out the shorts and everything. So cool stuff from Canadian International Pictures. Then we have a new one from AGFA. I'm not going to... It's very explicit here, but F the Devil 2, Return of the Effer. I know I sound ridiculous. This is AGFA and Bleeding Skull, films by Michael Paul Klesner. And this one... oops. Okay, we're not going to do that. Exploding out of the gate... Exploding out of the German horror underground, these two films are cinematic equivalents of DIY comic books that were made by a teenage stoner while experimenting with bootleg acid. I love these sales pitches, like that's a great pitch. The films tell the story of the Effer, a phantasmagorical death machine who materializes from haunted VHS tapes of Evil Dead 2 and A Nightmare on Elm Street to wreak havoc on the unsuspecting parents, teens, and babies, fueled by subversive violence, experimental techniques, and an unconditional love for the horror genre. Those Casio-core-driven miracles teleport us into a dreamlike panic state where Rambo posters, 8-bit sound barfs, and Nightmare Freddy's rule our subconscious. AGFA and Bleeding Skull are overjoyed to welcome this to home video for the first time ever, complete with new 22 director's cuts, the original cuts, and a whole bunch of extras. I had to... improvise a little bit on some of that. So yeah, this is preserved from the original VHS masters, German language with German and English subtitles. Both director's cuts, 29 minutes, and the original cuts of the first film are 35 minutes and 40 minutes. Video introduction by the director, commentary on the director's cuts by the director and actor Kurt Darsch, outtakes, shorts, trailers, booklet with vintage artwork, stills, and writing by AGFA and Bleeding Skull's Joseph A. Ziemba. 133 to 1, 133 minutes of content. That's all region. No clue what this is going to be like, folks. But AGFA always delivers the truly glorious, mind-blowing, not like anything else on any other label kind of stuff. And that's what this is. And speaking of that, we have Final Flesh, which is definitely nuts. This is directed by Vernon Chapman from 2009, 71 minutes. Unlike anything you've ever seen on Earth or other places. In early 2000s, Vernon Chapman, co-founder of the PFFR Art Collective, co-creator of Wonder Chosen and Xavier Renegade Angel, and producer of South Park, wrote a 4-part screenplay about a family who lives adjacent to the ground zero of a thermonuclear disaster. Instead of sharing the finished script with Hollywood, Chapman sent each part to 4 different companies that specialize in custom adult fetish videos, and Final Flesh was born. Like the custom song-poem craze of the 1970s, this metaphysical brain stabber is an outsider miracle of biblical proportions, filled with nudity, brilliant sight gags, rubber monster masks, intensive toilet humor, and no sex. This is a surrealist spectacle of the highest order. Preserved from the original digital video master. Video introduction by On Cinema's Greg Turkington, which is great. Lay in Love music video by Bonnie Prince Billy, directed by Vernon Chapman and John Lee. New alternate score by Ben Chasney of Six Organs, Admittance, and Comets on Fire. PFFR commercial, outtakes, original trailer, all region, 133-1, 71 minutes. Truly can't even describe it. Really can't. But again, this is what AGFA does, and I'm glad they're around to do it. Next up, we have from the fine folks over at DEKANALOG. Hirokazu's Koreeda's film Air Doll, and it's in Japanese with English subtitles, from 2009. This is the most high-profile title that DEKANALOG, I think, has released, because this film definitely has a following. It is a present-day fable for the increasing disconnect of urban life. Koreeda's Air Doll presents the Galatier myth to present-day Tokyo, transports it to there. A life-size air doll, Bae Duna, from the host, lives in a shabby apartment. She cannot speak, she cannot move, but she is the only companion her middle-aged master has. He talks to her, puts her in a bath, and makes love with her every night after he returns from work. This routine life is disrupted when fantasy turns into reality, when the air doll suddenly comes to life. Fascinated by everything she sees, she doesn't understand what is going on around her, but sees a world waiting to be explored outside the apartment. A romantic fantasy that explores the complexities of love and loss, joy and pain, fantasy and reality. This bittersweet love story examines the intricacies and frailties of human existence. Adapted from the manga by Yoshiguda and featuring breathtaking cinematography by Mark Lee Ping Bing, who from In the Mood for Love. World premiere at the 62nd Annual Cannes Film Festival. This is part of the features. Q&A at the Japanese premiere. Cameras, slate, and outtake montage. Critical essay. This is Region A. I've only heard good things about this, and I want to do a more proper review of it. But at the moment, I just wanted to make people aware that this is available and that they should still be keeping an eye on what's happening at DEKANALOG. And like I said, this is, I think, one of the most known titles they put out. I definitely saw a lot of excitement for it online when it was announced. Their most recent is a film called KFC, which definitely sounds fascinating to me. Also Region A, 2016, 69 minutes. And, yeah, that's not going to work, but okay. So this one, talk about out of left field. This omnibus of strange and harrowing stories connected by vagabond characters at various levels of moral bankruptcy revolves around the same KFC location. A sick doctor and his twisted cohorts attack random people and ultimately cannibalize them. The doctor's own rotund young son has grown accustomed to the taste of human flesh and gleefully tries to share it with street kids who have already run afoul of an assortment of evil creeps. Bizarre would be an understatement for this out-of-control orgy of revenge, featuring cryptic dialogue and plastic, almost detached depictions of deliberate torment and squishy, sucking, splattering, and dull thudding of abused flesh. That's so well written. Debut filmmaker Li Bing Jiang takes the body horror genre to new heights, combining the ethereal ennui and anomie with raw, visceral savagery. Not for the faint of heart. Includes Mystery Meat, an interview with the filmmaker, a trailer, a critical essay, and looks like another interview with the director. So a lot of stuff happening on this one. And yeah, I like that this is a horror title. They've done a couple horror titles. Detention was horror-based sort of thing. And I just want to keep these guys on your radar. I want to keep DEKANALOG in your mind. Just keep an eye on what they're doing. Like I said, I'm going to try and check out both Airdoll and KFC and do more of a proper review on those. But moving on, we have from Gunpowder and Sky, Hearts Beat Loud, with Nick Offerman, Kiersey Clemons, Ted Danson, Blythe Danner, Toni Collette. This movie was one of my favorites from, when did it come out? 2018? So this is a real recent release. And I really dug it. It's just one of those really sweet movies that has, some sadness to it, but ultimately just, I don't know, it just really left a mark on me. And I saw it on Hulu originally. I don't know if it's still there to watch, but it's in the hip Brooklyn neighborhood of Red Hook. Single dad and record store owner Frank, Nick Offerman, is preparing to send his hardworking daughter, Sam, Kiersey Clemons, off to college while being forced to close his vintage shop. Hoping to stay connected through their shared musical passions, Frank urges Sam to turn their weekly jam sesh into a father-daughter live act. After their first song becomes an international breakout, the two embark on a journey of love, growing up, and musical discovery. Just a beautiful movie. Like, highly, highly, highly recommended. And I'm definitely excited to check out the features on this one, because there's a lot I'd love to hear about it. So you've got a new feature-length audio commentary with director Brett Haley, co-writer Mark Bash, and composer-songwriter Keegan DeWitt, recorded in 2022. New interview with director Brett Haley, recorded in 2022. New interview with Nick Offerman, recorded in 2022. Feature-length audio commentary with director Brett Haley. I'm guessing that must be from a previous release, so you get two commentaries that include him. You get the co-writer and director and a solo director, so that's cool. Interview with him, interview with Offerman and Kiersey Clemons, interview with Offerman and Toni Collette, interview with actor Sasha Lane, Keegan DeWitt, Jeremy Bulloch, Nick Offerman, and Kiersey Clemons performing Hearts Beat Loud at Sundance. Very cool. Band rehearsal footage featuring Nick Offerman and Kiersey Clemons, behind the scenes of composing the music with Keegan DeWitt and Jeremy Bulloch. Trailer booklet featuring a new essay by writer BJ Colangelo. So BJ's a fan of this too, which is great. But yeah, very much glad to have a physical release of this. Like I said, I saw it on streaming to begin with, but just really, really taken with the movie, and excited that it's got a Blu-ray release from Gunpowder and Sky. Okay. From TerrorVision, we have Blood, Guts, and Sunshine, the story of horror made in Florida. And this is Region A. So is Hearts Beat Loud, by the way. And this one is a documentary. Snakes, Sunshine, Summer Heat, and Horror explore the independent horror film scene that Florida has been vigorously pumping out since the invention of film. This Blu-ray is jam-packed with interviews, exploitation, never before seen footage, and cinema madness. Watch and learn about films, new and old, in this exclusive documentary made for cult horror fans, featuring exclusive interviews with Herschel Gordon-Lewis, John Waters, John Landis, William Graffey, Sean Donahue, Chris Woods, Marcus Koch, Steve Biro, Tom Ritter, Joel D. Wincoop, and more. You see Herschel Gordon-Lewis there on the back. Special features include Satan's Children panel, Grindhouse video tour, Scott Tepperman's home video store, and horror movie trailers made in Florida. Definitely want to check this out. Obviously, Florida's got a great history of horror filmmaking. And a lot of great people interviewed on this doc, and TerrorVision, their previous doc, I definitely dug. So I'm all about checking that one out. Then we have a bunch from SATURN'S CORE. We have 16 Tongues. This one is from... Well, I just can't tell you. I want to say this one's more recent, but... I tell you, folks, I have glasses that I haven't been wearing in my videos and that I need to start wearing in my videos because I can't read as well as I used to be able to, and so I have to do it this way. Adrian Tork is a renegade cop who has lost more than half of his skin in a terrorist explosion. His missing flesh has been replaced with tongue meat recovered by the 16 victims that died during the tragedy. Ginny Chin Chin is genetically engineered prostitute / assassin chasing down the scientist who implanted her sex organs under the folds of her eyelids. Boy, oh boy. I mean, do you need any more than that? Really? So the sophomore feature from innovative visionary and New York-based auteur Scooter McCrae, Shatter Dead, which has been recommended to me and which I do need to see. 16 Tongues is a transgressive dystopian chamber piece that fuses cyberpunk imagery, psychosexual malaise, and austere surrealist delirium, featuring Alice Liu, Tina Krause, and special makeup effects by Glenn Hetrick and Paul Sutt. 16 Tongues presents a bleak, futuristic vision unlike any other, a subversive and ambitious body horror epic guaranteed to challenge even the boldest and most daring cinematic explorers. Sounds like it. So, audio commentary with writer-director Scooter McCrae and producer Alex Cassou. Audio commentary with writer-director Scooter McCrae, producer Alex, and production designer. Isolated music track, Fantasia or Bust. Festival screening featurette, behind the scenes, bloopers, visual effects, breakdown with post effects, supervisor Robert Morris, makeup and costume tests, deleted scenes, I See the Dark music video, and more. 133-1, all region. 16 tongues. I keep saying 16. We have Dead North. This one... Always got to be careful with these guys. Let's do it like this. When three couples escape to the woods together for a weekend camping trip, their idyllic vacation quickly becomes a desperate struggle for survival when a deranged, axe-wielding psychopath begins murdering them one by one. An impossible web of marital infidelities leads to a meandering mosaic of endless red herrings, deranged non-vets, bitter office rivalries, perilous punji pits, and puffy brown plaid couches. In the tradition of Blood Cult, Dead North is a hypnotic SOV soap opera slasher epic and an early non-custom passion project for director Gary Whitson and his New Jersey-based company Wave Productions, which of course was the documentary focus of the first release of this company. Audio commentary by the director, moderated by Ross Snyder, and co-director of that documentary that they put out for the first release. Audio commentary by Richard Moog, author of Analog Nightmares, the shot-on-video horror films of 1982 to 1995, True North, an interview with director of and Wave founder Gary Whitson, bonus movie The Pineland Murders, director Gary Whitson's 2012 feature-length remake of Dead North, 96 minutes. The Hanging Judge, a 1991 custom short from Wave featuring the cast of Dead North. Lunch Meat Midnight Snack, Dead North Special Edition, a 28-page booklet featuring rare vintage news articles and writings by Josh Schaefer from Lunch Meat and others. So this is also all region 133-1. Dead North. And then we have Red Lips. And this one, so Dead North is from, oh, I just can't read these numbers anymore. Trying to figure out the years on these. I do apologize. Anyway. Desperate for cash, young Caroline agrees to be injected with an experimental serum by an unscrupulous blood bank doctor. She soon finds herself transformed into a ravenous vampire, stalking the streets of New York City with an unquenchable lust for blood. After killing her doctor and a random string of unfortunate strangers, Caroline crosses the paths with Lisa, Michelle Bauer, an innocent woman stranded in the city after a breakup with her former girlfriend. The two broke and star-crossed lovers navigate through the city's desolate clubs and hotels, fueled only by their sexual lust and their symbiotic need for companionship. When Lisa finally learns of Caroline's murderous proclivities, she becomes a willing participant in her vampiric crimes until an unfortunate encounter with an indignant pimp leads to tragedy. Written and directed by SOV legend Donald Farmer. Red Lips marked the on-screen confluence of two iconic screen queens, legendary 80s siren Michelle Bauer, Hollywood chainsaw hookers, and awe-inspiring 90s enigma Getty Chasen, with an astonishing supporting cast of cult movie luminaries, including Kitten Navidad, George Stover, Danny Fendley, Larissa McComas, Christine Cavalier, Mandy Lee. Red Lips has quickly gained a reputation as a notorious sex and gore filled underground classic. So anyway, running out of time here, but I just wanted to run through those and at least give you guys something to chew on during this weekend when you may be at Vinegar Syndrome site. I have some more stuff to talk about at some point from a couple of the other labels, but I'm going to stop right there and say thank you for watching and thank you for listening, and I will talk to you soon. Bye-bye.